Testing. All right. Stuff not done. Mic check. Make sure y'all can hear me real quick. There we go. Get this right. All right. What's up, y'all? What's good? Good morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you at. Welcome, world. Hello, world. Welcome back. This is Dissect the Dialogue. I'm your host, Eric Rans, and let's get popping into the next topics. The juicy topics, the nitty gritty, as they say. All right, let's get into it. Okay. Weekly updates. I didn't even kill. A lot of crazy events. Still going. The Little Mermaid just came out as far as movies. I haven't seen it yet. Might give it a shot. Not sure. I'll talk about The Little Mermaid in particular later. I'll try not to be biased, but I'll just give my take based on seeing the trailer, not the movie, because I have yet to see it. So I'll put that on later, whatever. But as far as everything else, and if you haven't caught me on the tube, if you're in Houston, of course, on Fox, I was on TV. Technically, I was on TV. It would just have my picture up there, but hey, in a video, I had a picture in a video. I'll say that. Picture in a video, my face, my haircut, good. Had everything already on there. Basically, I made it, mama. In lack of better words. Anyway, other than that, everything's good. Oh, and y'all can catch the play Sunday at 7. Link in bio. I'll post that later. And but yeah, besides that, everything's been good so far. Oh, and let this go down a bit. Give turn this on a bit. Also, and I'll do this in a later show. Y'all can let me know what y'all think about it. But let me turn this down a bit. Just wanted to little quick condolences. DC Young Fly, his wife, baby mother of his 3 kids. I'm trying to make sure sorry, I'm so self-conscious. But mother of his 3 kids recently passed. Now I might do something special for the true followers episode. Might do a take on that and shaky deaths regarding that, but just a little quick silence for DC's baby mother. But yeah, it's I don't know. All that surgery stuff is just unnecessary. But I mean, you can lead the horse to the water, but you can't make him drink. But down to get to the nitty gritty. Now, I posted something real depth in particular, right? As I always do. I did 3 characters of known TV shows. One was Good Times, which is Florida Evans. The second one was Olivia Pope of Scandal. Florida Evans, played by the late great Asa Rowley. Scandal, Olivia Pope, played by Kerry Washington. And what was the third one? Damn. I had a third one. What was the goddamn third? Oh, it was Cookie Lion, played by Taraji P. Henson, as a third one. I wanted to do a fourth one, but it wouldn't fit. But if I would add a fourth one, it would be, I forget, guys. Sandy? Yeah, Sandra. From 227, played by Jackie Harry. Those 4. Now, what do they have in common, you ask? Well, not only are they obviously women of a certain complexion, but there are certain women. Now, mind you, in our community, are women, which I understand, given the circumstances that what they're held up against every on a daily basis. They held us up to a high standard, you know, especially when it comes to someone of a bourgeois type of woman or high maintenance black woman, right? They like individuals like that. Now, the reason why I say that is, and this can go with men too, but I'll focus on the women because I always see women as, a child's first teacher in a sense, right? I noticed that like a lot of women, those women that are like recognized as just great portrayals on TV and film, but let's just stick with TV since they're TV characters. I'll just say that. As far as them being TV characters, they show a lot of negative qualities, which is it's always been a problem with us, being portrayed on TV and film as a whole. But dealing with this gender war that's currently happening right now, I just feel it's necessary to shine some light on it. Now, there's always been some misrepresentation through Hollywood in regarding black women for decades, right? I mean, we can even go further with the whole concept of blackface, obviously. But as far as representing true beauty and all that, black women have always been undermined. You know, they've always been under the radar, whether intentionally or just no one really recognizes black women's beauty. It's beauty is always sent by this Eurocentric standard, which I understand. I mean, it's been programmed from you know, I mean Marilyn Monroe. I think ruined the whole concept of like in order to be considered you know belle of the ball when it comes to of how a woman looks, people just made her, I guess, the prototype, the quintessential beautiful woman, even though she wasn't in my opinion, and it's not race either, because I mean, you know, I'm not a person that dictates race on beauty. That's idiotic, right? But I do see that beauty is set to a certain standard when it comes to certain ethnic backgrounds. And what I mean is that people tend to undermine certain women even if they never even had relationships with them. But I say it's based on, again, negative stereotypes, which, not necessarily may be the people that, because this is what I think, right? This is what I believe. I think stereotypes are, I don't think they're 100% true, but I do think they garnish some sort of observation that has been proven to be fact. Not to say that it's 100%, but I mean, if you constantly see something over and over again, it's like you can't help but, you can't help but, green light that. Is like for example, there's the the age old stereotype Asians can't drive. Now, I'm not saying every Asian can't drive, but I've been behind the wheel behind some Asians, and let's just say they're a little can't really get control of the steering wheel at times. I don't know. Or, um, of course, the stereotype black people can't swim, but that's like a deeper meaning. But not to get too long winded, but the main question of tonight is, and I just want to make sure I get this right. How does the black woman want to be represented? Now, as y'all know, most of my questions that I ask on here is usually rhetorical most of the time. Maybe the few times when I ask questions, as the title of my show, some I may want, the people listening in or watching to ask themselves, because I mean, you can look outside the window and see that it's a never-ending gender war, and I think in our community, it's worse because there's already the stigma that as men, we got to be Jesus to even get like an average woman's attention, and even that won't even get make her satisfied. It's like it's bad all around. Don't get me wrong. This whole gender war is bad all around, but when it comes to us, it is terrible. I mean, it's always been like that since, ever since welfare has been pushed and the Democratic plan to take dads out of the house. I actually was looking at something. It was some video in the age, right? And it was like a poll. It was like five black women, and they were saying like, who's married, who's this, who's that, who wants to be married, and then they raise their hands, right? But when they said who wants to be a single mom, everybody raised their hand. And then when the man asked these women these questions, like, wouldn't it be best if the dad would be there to take care? They said no. They said they don't need it. And the response was, my I didn't grow up with a dad, or I did everything by myself. Just empty rhetoric, right? Empty nonsense. Just, you know, bullshit in a sense. Let's just call it spade a spade. Because if a man would say the exact opposite of doing that, oh, I don't really provide because I didn't grow up with whatever, a mom to teach me how to take care of, nurture, slander, all this stuff. But, this is a constant gender war. But back to what I mentioned about stereotypes. Let me break it down. Then I'll get down to the history of, black women in Hollywood. So let's break this down. What is a stereotype? Now, a stereotype is a widely held but fixed and oversimplified image or idea of a particular type of person or thing. Now, I'll break down certain stereotypes. Some people think people in the black race, particularly women, are known to be very boisterous, loud, obnoxious, and ratchet. That's what people say. I'm not saying this. I don't want people to twist my words because I know it tends to happen. People tend to say that. But I noticed that sometimes it can be a double standard within the stereotype because other races that tend to do the same thing as black women often get other, words mentioned. Oh, white woman, maybe she's just frustrated and she's passionate and maybe she's just, annoyed or it's just some stuff like that. Hispanic, she's just feisty. Other races, oh, it's just their culture. Our women, it's always they're obnoxious. They're difficult. Anytime someone uses difficult, you know what it is. And trust me, I can tell the difference when someone's being obnoxious and someone's just, some people just tend to talk with, like they got a microphone in their esophagus or some shit. I don't know. Some people are just like that. But that's just a side note. But this is what I really want to break down. Okay, so I say around, let's break down the history of black women in Hollywood. I say around, well, everybody knows like how stars back then when it comes to, the Audrey Hepburns, the Marilyn Monroe's, the, what's her name? Catherine Hepburns, the trying to think of more people. I just had a brain fart. Just women like that, that were always recognized by their beauty, etc., have always, held up, always in high regard as far as like, they made their mark in Hollywood, right? Now, because of, the prejudice that goes on in Hollywood and the politics, certain black women never really had to get that chance, or if you look a certain type of way, you'll get, into those rooms. You'll get into those doors per se. I'll break it down even better. Like when did female leads first start getting leads? Because around that time, most black women weren't getting really main, pretty much the star of the show or star of the film per se. And even if they did, it would usually be someone of servitude roles, right? Someone that was usually a maid of some sort or doing some favors from someone else that, of course, they were doing favor for someone white, whatever. Things like that. There wasn't like any roles where women were actually had like a big impact per se. Let me make sure I get that. And I think that didn't really change until I want to say, I mean, of course, everybody knows that, Hattie McDaniel, but even her, I mean, she was a slave and an maid. So that's like a double whammy. And based on her complaint, and that's another thing too, colorism was also a major factor. To be honest, it really still is because even back then, you know, someone like a Hattie McDaniel, or Esther Rowley would play roles where they weren't considered, feminine, right? Because of how they looked. They weren't considered feminine, so they would have roles where there were maids and servants and slaves like that. It fit them. But someone like a Diane Carroll, right? Even when they were recognized by the beauty, you still have people calling her, Black Marilyn Monroe, which I think is idiotic. And it goes to the show, the hypnosis when it comes to words and spells. I remember seeing in Malcolm X, y'all can watch it, you want, when he was in prison and the man that was, Muslim that was trying to like teach him how to read the whole dictionary, he was showing them define black and it had all these negative connotations, these negative words, these negative meanings. Everything was always bad, you know, this and that, dirty, negative, evil. Everything that you would define black would be considered negative. Then he read white. Then it was like pure, without, blemish. Then it was saying the opposite of black. So even in stuff like the dictionaries, which I'm not, going against, I mean, of course, you can make the conversation on the white man's dictionary, white man's, but you got to learn something somehow. You can't just negate, learning information just because certain race, excuse me, made them up. Just you got to figure it out. But it just shows you how the words and the spells just kind of flips on you, bounces on you. So I say this to say, when they see these women, right? When they see, even beautiful women like, like a Holly Berry, Pam Grier, Dorothy Dandridge, all these women, even if they're not, so say, super dark skinned, there's still a certain divide, even with colorism going on with them, right? And it's even like a form of like they only have to play this amount of roles, and even in films, they're even like degraded to so bad to the point we even degrade. Like I remember, uh, someone was referring to somebody as Whoopi Goldberg, as if Whoopi Goldberg was ugly. If you look at some of Whoopi Goldberg's old pictures, she was not ugly, but we've been conditioned to think that she was. Nah, like 2023, she I don't know what the hell they didn't deal with her, but got macaroni in her head. But it just shows you how people can like flip spells, and I mean, everybody remember the color purple when they was calling her ugly and all that. Well, it's like, well, y'all had her messed up and all that. Y'all had her looking rough, so it's like it didn't really help. I mean, kind of added, fuel to the flame in a sense. But Who's here to dictate their stories and who tells their stories? You know, what's the image that you want to project to these black women? The reason why I made examples like a Florida Evans was because someone, it again, also a negative stereotype, those day shift Christian mothers that want to use God for their own convenience. I'll make an example. There was an episode where they was about to lose their place in the first season, and James knew that he can get some get rich quick scheme, probably playing pool. Florida didn't want to do that. And of course, the kids they figured out a way how to stall the people trying to get them out. Then when James was able to get the money, it was home free. And then Florida wanted to say, you know, thank you, Jesus. We did it, and thank you for that 3 point whatever shot, three corner shot, whatever. Right. Fast forward, you know, dad dies. JJ, the son, all of a sudden, you know, the numbers at the time, they was running numbers, right? Gambling, whatever. You know, JJ doing good. Like he gambling, but you know, he making money, he making sure his family's straight, whatever. Florida finds out, gets pissed off, kicks him out, saying, I'm not gonna have a son gambling. But your husband was gambling, but you was thinking Jesus. Like, but that happens all the time. There's certain women that, you know, in our community that like using religion for their own convenience. Then let's fast forward to well, cookie line. I mean, I ain't got. I mean, you know, typical want to portray the Bonnie and Clyde lifestyle, but then this is another topic. Yeah, cookie line want to portray the Bonnie and Clyde lifestyle, but just like every gangster movie, when money dries up, the woman always, I say 9 times out of 10, always, leaves their man in the cold, which is kind of what Cookie Line did. You know that whole, I gotta put me first. I gotta put. That seems to be a lot of women, and I'm just saying, in this community at times. It's like he was cool with him doing dirt when you was with him. Now when stuff gets bad and everything's going downhill, you want to leave. Now I'm not with the whole struggle of nonsense. I think that's ridiculous. But I am with if you with someone for who they are, be with them for who they are. Don't have morals. Tasha, another one. Oh, I should have had more. But yeah, Tasha from Power, another one. Um, you know, didn't want her man to go clean because she thought, oh, the drug money's more than the club money. Ghost, everybody remember that. Ghost wanted to go clean. She didn't want that. She wanted it, but then when shit was going down, all of a sudden she wanted to go clean. He was telling you to go clean since like season 1. Then you wait till your daughter dies. Spoiler alert for those that ain't up with it. You wait till your daughter gets killed. You know, your son in trouble, whatever. He done dodged death so many times. I still don't know how he's still alive. But like, come on. Like, who's telling our women's stories? Like, is this the picture that we want to paint on as our women? Now, mind you, I'm not saying that's how our women are, but I know algorithms. I know that no one's just making this up. I know no one's just, it's not just people like, it has to be us. It has to be us greenlighting this. It's not a coincidence why movies like A Baby Boy is constantly on rotation on BET. It's not a coincidence, you know. Then what's that other one? Then of course 227 Sandra, was a city girl before a city girl. Basically, I mean, we can sugarcoat it all we want. She was pretty much she never had no man. She didn't really have no job, but she always had money and she always had fancy shit. Come on, like a blind, like a slow person could put two and two together, but that can't be our story, you know. And also, we have to stop trying to, make black versions of white characters. That has to stop too. And I noticed that again, observing, I noticed that it happens with a lot of the female characters. Like, why can't we create our own lane? What is wrong with that? And when did the switch start to change? Like, who made that call to just, because it's not like we didn't have stories. I mean, we can go and like, talk about the black exploitation era, with Pam Grier, and all that. Her being like, which was rare back then because not a lot of, black female were just like the driving force. They were always, because a lot of the black exploitation films kind of degraded our women, just to be honest. But Pam Grier's like that, it was different. It was like, it was, very transcendent because no one was seeing anything like that. But stories like that, how we have black exploitation films where we had women that were, I mean, even Jackie Brown, that was like rare to see, like, because it wasn't, there's never been a time when a black woman, was running the show. That needs to go back. We need to go back to that and stop making, you know, I hate saying blackwashing, but, stop trying to, it's almost like we're trying to be the white side in a sense. And it's low key kind of embarrassing because as creative, as innovative as we are as a people, like we're better than just trying to, copy off, you know, white people's stories. We're too innovative for that. You know, we can make our own. Indiana Jones is our own Star Wars, our own. Let me think. Our own Laura Croft Tomb Raiders, our own. I'm trying to think of franchises. Harry Potter's. I'm trying to think, but yeah, we can have all these different, franchises and stories where it could just, live on and on, especially with, a strong heroine figure, right? Dune. I know I can see Dune, that franchise being really big, but when did it become this, you know, our stories, like a woman has to be like the worst, morally wrecked like person in order to win awards. She has to be a slave to win this award. She has to, you know, wooty woo with someone of a different race to get this award. You know, and our romance movies. Why are there no good romance movies all of a sudden? Even observing the women in some of the romantic movies, they're pieces of shit. Best Man, Love Jones, Love and Basketball, Soul Food. I mean, sure, Soul Food. You can, of course. Well, actually, no. I'm not gonna. Yeah, Soul Food, because the cousin was messing with. You know, yes, I'm still standing on that. What am I talking about? I'm still standing on that. Yes, but yes, a lot of those movies just we just need a different light on our women. But the thing is, our women need to know their worth. It's like, sure, you can make all the excuses, you make all the reasons in the world why you weren't loved. I get it, but don't act like men weren't disrespected, because of how they looked. We gotta learn how to respect one another, love each other, stop hating on one another. It's annoying, and it doesn't really get us nowhere. We're not growing as a people, you know. But like I said, I haven't really seen the Little Mermaid one, but I don't know. Like I just not. I mean, I didn't even like the other one, so I don't really get how what I'm gonna get out of this. I never did. I never did understand that at all with that one. But a woman, and then they had like I think they had another story where it was like a girl that was like a superhero. They had like a season of that show. I was watching it. Wherever I was watching that, and I think they canceled it after one season. I was like, why did they cancel it? Like that needs to be shown, but you know, Again, we're our own biggest enemy. If we continue to show bad representations of our people, it's going to keep on happening until we do something about it. But if we're going to continuously, put this toxicity in, for our TV screens, whose fault is it really? It's no one's fault but our own. It's nobody's fault but our own. Like, the fact that we have so many strong women in our community in our past that have done so many great things, like, it just confuses me how we can't. There's tons of stories where it can show our women. I know it. I feel it. But somebody's got to tell them. Somebody has to. And I don't mean, not saying that a man can't speak on a woman's behalf, but nowadays you got to be careful you doing that. But some woman out there that knows what it's like that can speak on everybody's. Ooh, my leg cramping. That can speak on, like women in general, that can speak on, and not in a negative way, not that, your body. So I get to sleep with anybody I want to, and I gotta, put myself first. I'm not talking about that type of respect. That's not respect. That's actually disregard of your self worth. Sleeping with everybody that you come in contact with isn't self worth, and men can justify them doing it, but I don't know. To each his own. But me growing up with a lot of black women, especially having a lot of girl cousins, I think I can understand it more. I never had sisters, but I can understand, the stories of having to change your hair because it's not considered professional to get a job, or, not confining to, just a black woman not wearing weave and long nails and falsies, you know, in our own race, and being, made fun of for that. Speak on, where's those stories at? Where's those tales? Where's those, people that want to, we need like more J.K. Rowling's, more Jane Austen's, you know? No, we don't need Terry McMillan's screwing up everything, putting toxicity. We don't need, Sapphires telling stories. Okay, they're telling their negative side. That's not doing any justice. But that's all I got to say on that. Like I said, thank y'all for showing support. Y'all can follow me on YouTube if you're new. Subscribe, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. I'm on Spotify, Anchor, Amazon, iHeart coming soon. Y'all can catch me at that play. Thank y'all for showing support. Thank y'all for listening to me and joining me. Until next time, I am gone. Catch y'all later. Peace.